Welcome back everyone to another Last Day on Earth PvP oriented video. In this video, it's going to be my beginner's guide to Last Day on Earth PvP, or rather just tips I wish I knew before going into Last Day on Earth PvP. Are you somebody who's been dying a lot in Last Day on Earth PvP? Again, and again, and again. If you're somebody who really wants the challenge of Last Day on Earth PvP, yet are really struggling to adapt to it, I really hope this guide can help. Here's 30 tips that I've got to help you hopefully get better at PvP. Also, real quick, subscribe, trying to hit a goal of 25k this summer. Is it possible? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Update. Video. PvP. Let's go. So starting at number 1, the goal of PvP, the quote-unquote purpose. PvP and Last Day on Earth. If you play your cards right, it's a really easy way to get rich quick. You can get a ton of armor, a ton of guns, for very minimal resources used. But it's also a way, if you do it wrong, to lose a ton of resources very, very quickly. I've been on both opposite ends of the spectrum, both getting a lot of gear really quick and losing a lot of gear really quick. Number 2, there are 4 main parts that I'm going to try and go over in this guide. Preparation, background, knowledge, and essentially your execution / common strategies. Number 3, usually there are 4 general standard rules to Last Day on Earth fights. Obviously, these aren't necessarily universal rules, they don't dictate every single fight, but 90% of the time, as I look on my recordings and learn about what I did wrong in each and every fight, what I did right in each and every fight, there are 4 standard rules that I've kind of come up with. A fight is decided by whoever shoots first. Again, this is usually determined by bush camping or whatever. A fight is also decided on who heals better, so if you're able to out-heal your opponents, you're going to win that fight. A fight is decided by gear. Obviously, if you're in max combat gear with an HK, you're going to do a lot better than someone with scout gear and an old revolver. And a fight is decided by map positioning, and I will get to that in a moment. Let's just put a really rough example up on the screen right now. Probably the hardest one to understand is positioning, so I'm going to put an example up on the screen right now. While the other stuff, it's very self-explanatory, you can watch the clip and understand it. For positioning, I want to explain the complete thought process behind it. Now, right over here, we know that there is a guy in that bush because he was dumb enough to come out. Now, previously, I had been in that bush and we've kind of traded positions. And let's see, he runs over there. And now, a third party comes in because I knew that guy was there. I knew he would third party, which is why I was near the edge. He stops chasing, which is very, very lucky. So I'm able to finish off this guy. Again, gear advantage. And now I know that there is one guy left over there, and he is more than likely hiding in a bush. Now I know the bush he's likely to be in is that main bush right next to the crate, because it gives him direct oversight over who's looting the crate. He has the closest advantage to easily shoot whoever comes near that crate. That bush is the one to go to. So I know that no one's in there, so he's more than likely going to be in there. Lo and behold, he is. So I just use this strategy, which I'll go over in a little bit. And easy kill, crate is mine. Number 4, preparation. First and foremost, like everything in Last Day on Earth, PvP requires a great deal of preparation before you even go into it. While I know you're going to unlock it very quickly in terms of levels and be very eager to get some kills, if you go in screaming, you're going to end up dying very, very quickly. If you take more time to prepare and understand how everything works, you're going to survive a lot longer. So at number 5, I'd recommend to bring at least scout gear, at the very least, though combat gear is highly recommended over scout. Sometimes if I see a scout gear guy running away, I know it's a free kill. Anything less than scout will be a very easy kill for your opponents and essentially give them free gear. I've seen a couple of people with radiation gear, and essentially I know that they're pretty much a free kill. That's a free gun right there. That bleeds into the next tip. Number 6, guns are mandatory. Primarily one automatic gun, MP5 or HK. HK is a little stronger than MP5, so I would go with that. If you have it over the MP5, MP5 does 8, HK does 11. But again, both of these are automatic, so they should do fine. Depending on how you want to play in the zone, you can bring shotgun with shields or rifles, depending on what strategy you're going to play. Shotguns, even with the active skill spread shot, are not going to help against somebody running away, spamming their HK. All you'll do is essentially feed those players free resources. And number 7, don't even think about bringing melee weapons such as halberds or saw blades. You're dead before you even reach them. As the old saying goes, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, and that rings true especially in Last Day on Earth PvP. If you bring any melee weapon, you will be dead before you can even get to them. Number 8, healing items. I'd recommend bringing at least 3 to 4 MRE rations and 3 to 4 soup. What this will allow you to do is use the soup heal strat. While you're in a fight, pop the MRE, wait half a second, and then use the soup. It'll allow you to heal 13 as opposed to your opponent's slow 1 heal at a time. While it may not be enough to out-heal the firing rate of an MP5 or an HK, as long as you can out-heal the other guy at an equal firing rate, you will win that fight. Other healing items, such as bandages, sterile bandages, even antibiotics, cannot be applied while you're in a fight, so you will be killed before you're even done completing that. Number 9, flares. Flares work like this. When you use them, they'll show you if people are hiding in the bushes on the minimap. You'll essentially only be able to see what's in that circle on your minimap. Also, if you're using it in a bush, people will see you. You're visible for maybe 2-3 seconds, enough so people will see your indicator in the bush. Number 10, moving in more into the second part. While similar, it's a little different than preparation, which is background. Prior to even entering the zone, you're going to want to know a little bit of information about the zone and how it works. This zone opens every 45 minutes and you'll be able to PvP for 15 minutes. You can head back to the zone if you end up dying, or if you're still within that 15-minute window, you can go to a new PvP zone by clicking Leave Battle right there. This zone is essentially your standard zone for Last Day on Earth, with a crate in the middle like the one at airdrops in single player. The crate is on a 4-minute cooldown. Once the first person enters, the cooldown starts. Once the 4 minutes are up, you can then head to the middle of the map and open the crate. The crate will have 5 to 40 dog tags, some gear, some bandages usually, or some sort of healing item, and a couple of rare items such as wrenches, filters, USB, or flashlight, or something like that you'd usually find at the crossroads. Sprinkled everywhere are bushes, and the reason why bushes play such a significant role in this is they literally change the landscape of ldoe PvP. When you stand in the bush, you become invisible to enemy players. This is the only spot where you will not appear in the minimap. Even if you're sneaking, players can see you on the minimap and in the zone. Hiding in the bushes is the only way people will not see you, both on the map and on the minimap. The same is true for the reverse. Other players can also hide in the bushes, and you won't be able to see them in the standard map unless they move or come out of the bush like this guy, or start attacking. Or, if you enter that bush, that'll allow them to get the first hit on you and essentially give them the free fight. There are a couple of zombies in this zone. There aren't any bosses like the Miner or Devourer in this zone, only Ashy Bloaters, Spitters, and Biters, all of which drop cloth, rope, and potentially dog tags, which complete the battle pass. But I would not recommend going out of your way to kill the zombies. Zombies are important. Unless you know that you are the only person in the zone and that the time is pretty much reset. Not only does fighting zombies leave you very vulnerable to attack, you may be able to use these zombies. Zombies are especially helpful for getting away when you're in trouble. If you can put a zombie in between yourself and your attacker will be stuck targeting the zombie and not you. They can't burst fire you from a distance, they're stuck shooting the zombie while you get away. All zombies, except fast biters since they move too quick, can be de-aggroed, meaning if you run far enough away, they'll stop chasing you. I like zombies in this zone as they're usually a good indication if players are nearby. Zombies don't walk for fun, so somebody aggroed them and somebody's nearby, and I know exactly where they are based on where that zombie ran to. Lastly, be aware there is a 6-second waiting period to exit the zone, so adapt accordingly. You can't just walk out of the zone after 6 seconds are up without any movement. Sneaking is okay, but no firing, entering your inventory, healing or cleaning up your inventory or stuff like that. Then you can leave. No, 6 seconds is way too long for you to exit the zone while somebody is shooting at you. You will die before you even exit the zone, so don't try that. Lastly, number 15, extra help. Make sure you have PvP notifications enabled, which when you go in the settings over there, click that tab, and right over there, make sure those are enabled. The reason why this is so important is if somebody kills someone else in the zone, it will alert you that there are people in the zone and that you know you're not alone. I'd also recommend you keep sound enabled and keep it high, as you can hear the gunfire before it even gets close to you, or you can hear fighting. I usually mute the music from the background as that covers up the gunshot noises, and I'd rather hear the gunshot noises and know people are nearby than hear the game soundtrack. Sorry, ldoe. Lastly, I'd make my screen really, really bright, like burning bright, that kind of bright. Last Day on Earth can be a very dark game when it gets night in Sector 7, and you'll want to know what's going on in the game, while your opponent may not be able to see what's on their screen. Number 16, you can be the best planner and know everything that there is to know about No Man's Land. But once you fail in the execution, the game/fight will not go so well. So I'm going to go over a couple of strategies in the execution, which people usually use to win fights. If you really want to play it on the safe side, try this strategy. Find a corner on the map, flare to make sure no one is in the bushes, and to be absolutely safe, I usually pick an area near the south end because I find it easier to know if people are coming above me, but that's just my own personal preference from other games. Patience is absolutely key. Every fight is essentially determined based on who shoots first and who shoots faster. Take for instance this guy. He decides to wait out in another bush, but little does he know, I'm waiting here, and easily take him out while barely draining any of my health. If I were in his position, I would flare even before moving. While it may show players I'm hiding in a bush, I know the bush I'm about to move into is absolutely safe. If you want to play more aggressively, stick to the outskirts of the zone. Try not to run too far, as people tend to notice when there's somebody running in the very outskirts. Listen for gunfire and find that direction and try to follow for the next quick kill. Another strategy that players often try is the lure strategy. While you're in the bushes, other enemy players cannot see you, but they can see dead bodies. If you want, you can use them as bait. If you see the X unchanged for a while, usually for a minute, they'll probably become impatient and rush to check it out. Then all you gotta do is fire away. Let's take a quick situation right here. Right there, I know that that's a little suspicious. That dead body has armor, nobody's looted it yet, so I'm almost certain that somebody's here hiding in that bush. Lo and behold, there they are. Number 21, third party. Third parties work so well in this game. Listen for gunfire and two people fighting. Once the winner of the fight has been declared, go to that fight. Since the winner's health is already very low, it's essentially a free kill. Right over here, I was waiting till the two sides would fight each other, so I'd be able to third party and kill the winner. Unfortunately, that really didn't work out, and I ended up playing very terribly as my protection ran out, which I didn't realize, but I'll go over that a little bit more later. Number 22, teaming. And teaming is actually a very controversial topic, so I'm going to try and cover it as best as I possibly can. The best I can say with regard to the strategy of teaming is it is a very high risk, high reward level situation. Kind of. There's no doubt about it, having two or more people tag team somebody is way stronger than having one person fight one-on-one, but I would be very cautious with regard to teaming. And when it comes to teaming, there's two different types of teaming that I mean. Teaming with your clanmates and friends, and teaming with strangers. Keep in mind that the zone has limits on how many people can enter, but directly from the developers, if you press enter at the same time, you have the best chances of making it in the zone with people that you know. Obviously, the topic of teaming could use a lot longer, probably its own dedicated video, but I honestly don't believe that teaming should be bannable in this area. I know that's very controversial, no matter how much I hate it. This is the apocalypse, and the devs literally stated on the loading screen that there are no rules, and betrayal is around every corner. 23, teaming with clanmates and friends. So teaming with clan members or friends is by far the smarter of the two options, but is a little less worrisome. The biggest issue you'll be stuck dealing with is friendly fire, as it's a PvP zone. You can attack anybody, clan members, enemies, even friends. Last Day on Earth's targeting system aims for the closest target to you. Whether that's a clanmate or an enemy player, you'll need to be careful to pay attention. Having two or more players opens up so many new strategies, such as having one person store all the good loot, others sponge while they flee, flanking opponents, and so much more. But again, I would be very careful at who you're aiming at to make sure you don't end up killing your teammates. 24, strangers. Well, randoms. I'd be very reluctant to even team with randoms. Yes, like so many games of the genre, spitting is usually a sign that somebody's trying to team, or with ldoe, they're pretty vocal about it. They will talk in the chat. Yet, most notably, and obviously, the biggest issue with teaming with randoms is they can literally betray you at any time they feel like it. But for a good majority of the Last Day on Earth player base, they've been waiting years and years and years for some form of player versus player fighting. More than likely, they'll be a little too trigger happy and won't hesitate to backstab or just open fire on the spot. 25, de-aggroing. If you're ever in trouble and someone gets the jump on you first, gets those first shots in, and is healing way better, and you know you're going to lose that fight if you stay, and you can run away, run to the closest bush. Your opponent will need to run to the bush as well to even aim at you, allowing you to get the first shot off and give you a couple of momentary seconds to catch your breath and to heal up. 26, 27, 28 are strategies. Now, 26 is my favorite strategy, and I'm very reluctant to even share it, but I am a content creator first, so I'm gonna share it. When I go to a zone, I don't bring MRE heals. I bring the strategy of an MRE or occasionally fish, but I go with an HK and the shotgun with shield strategy. Now this strategy usually works. I think people are slowly getting better at learning how the strategy works, as it's somewhat popular but also unpopular. What you do is, ideally you'd wait in a bush because you'd want to melee somebody, or if you end up rushing a bush and activate the skill, that also works too, as so many scenarios I've tried out work. But rush that bush. While they will get the first few hits on you and get your health probably around halfway or lower, you will be able to stun them. Swap, a little bit of game lag, but you will be able to swap for it. Then aim, and essentially by the time they're even done recovering from your stun, they're already dead. Another strategy I've frequently seen tried is the MP5K with blood skill. Now what you'll do is, ideally you'll want your opponents to try and fight you from range, and then you'll use the active skill to engage the fight and get them to run away and flee, while you'll be able to pick them off as they desperately try and run, or they get third-partied or something like that. They'll continue taking damage from a distance as you push forward, as everyone has the same amount of health and it's very limited, and what health you have is very, very important. Number 28, the rifle with skill. Now I've seen a few people actually use this strategy. It's kind of under the radar, and again, it's not too popular of a strategy, but it works nonetheless. What you'll do is you'll go for somebody and you'll fire the rifle active skill, that bullet thing, and then fire again. Then hot swap over to an automatic gun and start burst firing. What this will do is it'll allow you to get the first few hits on your opponent, get their health already pretty low, and then if they want to engage, they're already dead because you have a health advantage, or they're going to end up running and you can easily pick them off because your rifle has more range than their gun will have. Number 29, invulnerability. Invulnerability in this game, or this zone per se, is actually super important. I didn't realize it, but invulnerability does wear off. It usually lasts for like a minute, maybe a minute 30 at most. But what this will do is, when you're invulnerable, you cannot take any damage whatsoever. Now people can camp you, you can see people camp you even if they sneak, but you're invulnerable in that time. Now I'd hope they get bored and just leave, or I'd hope that they get really close and then I could try a strategy with them. But invulnerability is also a massive key, as you'll see in that clip. I have nowhere to run. I can't flee the zone. They'll kill me in time. The only way I can run is forward, but invulnerability gives me that time for these two to try and damage each other. I really tried to use that time to get them to fight each other. Didn't quite work out, but meh. Number 30, stay tuned, subscribe to this channel. I've got a bunch more videos and ideas about Last Day on Earth PvP, both on the entertaining side and on the guide side, so keep your eyes open for those, and a potential new series maybe? It depends. I gotta talk to a few people to see if I can work it out. But again, that's all down the line. Consider subscribing, try and hit a goal of 25k. Join my Discord, code right there. Subscribe, ZD out.